Hello, everybody. So,
Hi.
welcome along to today's Timely Bootcamp. Now, you'll have noticed that Alex isn't with us today. So, we have the lovely Lizzie with us instead from our success team. Hi,
Hi.
Lizzie. Now, like me, you've been in the industry a long time, haven't you?
I have.
I think both. Did you
Very
go
much so.
straight from school?
Yeah, so basically, as soon as I finished school, went to college and studied beauty therapy. And then, yeah, I originally was in salons, doing the usual sort of treatments and things like that. And then I ended up teaching with Dermalogica. And then also after that, joined a tech company in the beauty industry as well. So I've definitely dipped my toe into every different type of job in the industry. But yeah, so I'm definitely, I've been in the industry a long time, but complete opposite end to what you've done, Annabelle. So I definitely see
Yeah,
things
yeah.
slightly differently. But
Which
yeah,
is good, which is
along,
good, because I think
yeah,
you see it more from kind of like an industry side, like the
yeah,
educational side and that kind of thing, whereas I'm more like a business brain, if that makes sense.
yes. Yeah, I'm like the background man.
Yeah.
I see what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Which is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And it's lovely to have you along with us today. It's very
Thank
exciting.
you.
And
Thanks
this
for
is
having
your
me.
first live, isn't it, today?
It is. It is. And actually, only my fourth week with Timely.
Oh, so
So yeah, I'm
exciting.
just getting stuck in, just doing it.
Yes.
I do have to
Best way to
apologize,
do
by the way.
it.
I'm using the sunlight and it keeps going behind clouds. So if I go dark, I'm sorry.
Or if you're blinded at some point as
Yeah, or if
well.
I'm blinded, I was blinded earlier as well. So, yeah.
We don't like to complain about the sun. We don't see it that
No.
often. So
Yeah.
when it's out.
Yeah.
So let's get started on today's boot camp, which is
Yeah.
growing your brand and marketing your business. So Lizzie's going to start us off with a bit of a look at follow-up messages,
Yeah.
and how they work, what they all do.
Yeah. So first of all, we're going to start talking about automated follow-up messages. So I don't know if you guys are already doing that. I'm assuming you probably are doing some kind of follow-up messages some of the time. But right now is the perfect time to get set up with that. Get them all ready so they're automated to go as soon as you open up. So you're ready, get people back in, reminding people that, you're still there. So you can actually use it for so many different things. It doesn't have to just be a follow-up message saying, thank you for coming, hopefully book in again at some point. It could be that you want them to follow you on social media. It can be, getting them to give you feedback and reviews. There's so many different things that you can use this tool for. So yeah, get stuck in right now while we're in lockdown. Yeah, Annabelle's going to show you exactly the process of actually getting that set up. So I'll pass that back on to you, Annabelle.
Perfect. So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at how to actually set it up. So like Lizzie said, you don't want to be doing all this manually. You want to get it set up now so that when you open, hopefully in 2 weeks' time, you're going to be absolutely rammed and have no time to do any of this. So you can get it all done now while you're sitting at home, chilling in your jammies,
Yeah.
and get stuff all sorted. So you're going to start off with going to setup and then customer messages. You're then going to go to add a new message and flick over to follow-up message. Now, you can choose whether this is an email or a text message, whatever is easiest for you. We know that most people will open an SMS more than they'll open an email. I think most of us have got, most stuff goes into junk, or it will go into, get lost within other emails. There's so many of us that, you just kind of have a quick flick through and delete quick ones. So yeah, if you can use a text message, it's straight there in front of them. Nothing left for them to do.
They can't hide.
Yeah, exactly. They've got no excuse really.
Yeah.
It's coming straight through.
Yeah.
So once you've decided whether it's going to be email or SMS, you can then decide your message settings. Now we're going to use this to send a follow-up message to get a review. And this is really, really important because these will help with your SEO. They'll help with getting you more noticed on social media, more noticed on Google. And so we're going to send this straight away. You want a review for them to leave a review pretty much as soon as they've left the salon, really, or sort of while it's still in their head. They've just walked out the salon, they feel amazing. So let's get them leaving that review instantly. Now, because it's a follow-up message for review, we're going to send this to every service. So anyone who's had anything at all at your business, this is going to go straight out to them. You can also send them out for selected services if you want to. So perhaps you're running a special offer that month and you want to particularly get good reviews for a particular service. Or next week, we'll look into other ways that you can send follow-up messages for different things. So that will cover that a bit more in next week's session. You can also then decide to send it to appointments that have been completed. So you're not missing those ones where they didn't show, that kind of thing. You obviously don't want those to leave a review. And you can also select to send it to the person once. So you don't want them to get it every appointment. You perhaps just want it for the first one when you go back after lockdown. Next, you're going to add your message. So you can see in this box, we've added our client's name so that it's a little bit more personal to them. It feels a little bit more, sort of more from you. We've added the name of the business and we've added the name of the person sending it. People are more likely to respond to that. But we've also included a Bitly link. And the reason we've got a Bitly link is so that it's a shorter link. You've got the, sometimes when you add links, they can be really big in your message and it can add up a lot of text messages. Sometimes it might knock the end off the message that you're sending. Whereas Bitly is nice and small, fits into that message. You can see here we're using two SMS credits for this particular message. So it's nice and small. And then you're all done.
Yeah.
So you'll literally add a message name so you know exactly what it is that you're sending out if you need to pause it or you need to change the message, whatever it might be. And then you're going to hit save. And now you'll see it in your message settings. This is a list of all the messages that you've got set up. If you were to see my business message settings, I have about 50 because I have one for every service. And absolutely loads. So I have all sorts
I can
of
imagine
stuff.
it's very organised though.
Very, very organised. And my clients always say they'll never forget an appointment with me because they get like an email and a text when it's booked and then same when like 2 days before, and they always comment on how many they get.
Life's so busy that you book an appointment having something, hair or nails or whatever you're having. The likelihood that I'm going to forget that I have that booking is quite high unless I get a text. So
exactly.
I think it's so important to have, for sure.
And I think especially now as well, like we tend to have so many kind of lockdowns and reopenings, and you forget when you booked in for in the next one, which one's been cancelled and all that kind of thing. So definitely setting up these messages now is definitely the way to go.
It's the time, and you can make it look amazing because you've got all the time now to do it. Yeah,
exactly. It's not just quickly throwing it together and going, that looks all right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, when you've set this one up in particular, you're going to want to pause this for now because your clients have only just obviously we've only just gone into lockdown, so you want to pause it until we're ready to reopen. So you can hit that pause button and then when you are ready to start sending it again, you can click enable and that will start the next section of messages. Now obviously you're sending them to your online page, you're sending it to your presence, and so you're going to want that to resonate with your online booking as well. You're going to want that to match your brand, and Lizzie's going to talk us through a bit about the online booking, which I know is very, very popular with us.
Yeah, it's the only way that I book anything in, so it's super important in your business. Like I was saying before, everybody's so busy. And the last thing you think in the middle of the day when you're working is I need to book an appointment for my hair or, whatever it is. So, times that I would be likely to book is probably like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. just as I'm about to go to bed. So I don't think anyone's going to be open at that time. So we actually found out recently as well that 51% of bookings that come through are likely to come through after opening hours. So you really don't want to make sure that you're not losing any of those bookings. So
we're definitely one of those people.
Yeah, like with Timely, you can make it super personal. So you can brand it so it looks like your website, or even just, you know, the theme of your salon as well. You can change the color, you can word it how you want it to be. Yeah, so it's a super important tool to use for sure. Annabelle is going to quickly show you as well how you actually do that and how you can change the color, which is really cool. It's my favorite part. You can make it super personal.
Yeah, I love anything with colours. You can see from my diary how colourful my appointments are. So I love the colour bit as well. That's my definitely my favourite part. So you're going to head to setup and online bookings, and then you're going to scroll all the way down to appearance. And you can see on here we've got 3 different sort of preset options. So you've got the Timely Coral, which I think is the colour that everybody recognises Timely as being now. You've also got the Timely Charcoal. So again, if that fits your business, it's all done for you. You haven't got to do anything with that one. Or you can select your own colour. Now, if you already know the colour code that you use for your business, you can just literally pop that number straight in there and you're done. And it's all nice and easy. You can hit save and you're sorted. If you're not too sure, or you perhaps want to choose a different colour for your online booking, like really make it stand out from your website, or pick a particular colour of your logo perhaps, or something like that, you can click where the button colour is. And you've got this whole range of colours that you can choose from. So you can literally choose any colour under the sun. Once you've hit the colour that you want, you can then drag through the colour to get the right shade of that particular colour. So we're looking at purple here. And once we've selected that colour, you can see there, it gives you that little preview on the left-hand side. You've also can change the colour of your link and your button colour. So you can sort of really make it really, really personal. And get a bit of an idea of what it's going to look like before it goes live as well, which is the most important thing. The next bit you can do to really make it, again, sound more like your business, as Lizzie said, is you can change the text in your online booking. So each step has a set text on the right-hand side of your online booking, and you can make that really personal. So for mine, I always included details. So I used to rent a room within a hairdresser's. So I'd always put the name of the hairdressers, let them know that you're here for my business or for me. And then they'll let me know that you're here when they arrive. It might be that you want to just perhaps change the wording of it to make it sound a bit more like you and a bit more friendly, and rather than it being, very clinical. Yeah, that's it. So you can add your own text into or any of these boxes. You're then going to scroll down and hit save. Now, at any point, if you want to test what this looks like for your clients, we've got some really amazing links here that you can use. You can copy these and include them in text messages, or you can copy and paste it into a web page to be able to see what your online booking looks like. And you can get an idea then of what your clients are going to see at their end as well. So here we've copied this link into our web browser, and you can see we've now got these lovely colours that we've just selected. So you can see we've got the booking button, and when we go on to the next page, you can see all those links now. I've got that lovely kind of pinky purpley colour, so it looks a lot more personal. You can see the text there has been changed to where it would normally just say choose a service or select a service. We've now got this lovely sort of more personal wording on there, which is amazing. Now, all of this kind of ties in with your branding. As we say, it links in with that online booking and that online presence that you're going to have. Now, there's loads of other ways you can keep that going. So you can do your social media branding. You can look at SMS campaigns to target those certain clients. But you need to make sure all of this is to bring clients back into your business. So this is what we're working towards, is getting those clients back into your salon and spending more money. One of the other ways that you can do this, that you can set up now, is to use a rebooking reminder. And what this is very similar to your reminder message, except it goes out a certain length of time after the client has been in a salon. So this might be for all of your services. You might set up a generic one for everything, or if you're like me, you may have a million set up and you have them for each individual service. You might have a couple for an individual service. So for example, I used to have I have ones for LVL. Now, with the LVL treatment, you have it done, and then ideally it lasts 6 to 8 weeks. I always recommended people come in about halfway and have a lash tint to kind of prolong that effect, because the tint doesn't last as long as the lift. So I would set up one 4 weeks after their appointment, and then another 4 weeks later to remind them to come in. So I would have 2 for that same service. And these are absolutely great at just reminding people to book that service in, especially if it's something where they don't know what they're doing. Perhaps they haven't got that, they haven't got their diary with them. They walk out the door, and I mean, I've done this loads of times with my hairdresser. I walk out the door and I forget to book, and then I'm like, yeah. Can you get me in tomorrow? You know, and obviously they can't. So at least with this way, it's kind of giving them that push of like, you know, don't forget, you need to book in a few weeks' time. Get that booking in now. We don't want you to miss out.
I always find, well, if I'm having a treatment and I've had it, and then they're telling me all these things that they're like, come back next time, you need to do this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, back, pay and go, and then you leave, you walk out the door and you're like, I've forgotten everything that she just said.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Well for that.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm the same. I'll step out of somewhere and someone will have told me something, or I'm like, oh yeah, I'll have a look at my diary and I'll give you a call later, and I don't, because I get distracted by other things and I've forgotten, and it's 4 weeks down the line and I'm thinking my roots are looking bad, or you know, oh God, I really need to get my eyebrows done, or whatever it might be. And so with doing it this way, it's automated, it saves you time, you don't have to be phoning those clients to remind them to come back in again. So we're going to have a quick look at how that looks in the setup stage, and also then we can have a look at what it's going to look like when you're getting that stuff and what options you've got. So again, we're going to go back to setup and customer messages, but this time we're going to select rebooking reminder when we add a new message. Again, you can choose whether it's SMS or email, but as we said before, we know that SMS is more likely to be looked at, and you know, if you're anything like me and Lizzie, clients are going to not see an email and they're probably going to forget about it, whereas if it's on their messages, they're more likely to click it straight away from their smartphone. Again, you have the same options as the follow-up message of how long you can send that message after their appointment ends, but you have a slightly longer delay with this one. So you can send it up to a year after they were last in. So it all depends on how often you want to set that for, or what services you're setting that for. So for example, if it's microblading or semi-permanent makeup, they don't need to come in that often, but after a year, you might want to remind them to book in their top-up, just to keep it looking fresh. If it's a gel polish manicure, it's going to be 2 weeks. So there's that real big variation between those. So you can pick whatever it is that you want to for those services. We're going to go with 4 weeks because we're going to select the services as a facial. So we only want it to go to people who've had microdermabrasion, hydrotone, and the Synergy Radiance facial at this particular salon. Now, the other thing that you don't want to do is if they've booked another service, you don't want them to necessarily get a reminder about this, you know, for this message. You know, if they've already booked a different facial in. So perhaps they had the microdermabrasion, they didn't like it, or they wanted to try something different, and so they picked this, they picked a different facial. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stop the message going out to anyone who's got any of these facial treatments booked in. So if they've got any of these booked in the next 4 weeks, it won't send them a message. So you're only targeting those ones that haven't booked anything yet.
Yeah.
And again, in your message, make it really personal, add their name, definitely add a booking link so that they can click straight to that link and book online instantly. Add your phone number in case they're maybe a little bit of an older client and they haven't got that online booking quite down yet, or perhaps they're one of those clients that likes to talk to you just to double check you know, what they're booking in, they're booking for the right thing. But definitely include all this information, make it sound really nice and really friendly, and encourage them to book in. Again, give it a name so you know exactly what it is. I name all mine like this. So mine have got 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever it is, so I know roughly how long they're going out. And it's much easier then when you come to find it if you need to if you need to change it or pause it at the moment with everything that's going on. And then you can see it here in your message list. It's sort of listed alongside everything else, of, you know, your massive list of other messages that you've got.
It just saves time for like you guys in salons as well. I remember when I was working in salons, we at one point were just using pen and paper, which was hard enough anyway.
Oh
but remembering to ring them and say, you need to come back in, like it was just a nightmare. So to be able to do this, and you don't have to think about it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You can just leave it, and you know.
If yours was anything like ours, our paper book was filled with Post-it notes of when to call people to book them in. Scribble down in another column. Yeah, it was just horrendous to try and look at. It's absolutely awful. On top of
that, you need to get the time to actually physically ring them or text them or whatever you do. And, you know, when you're working in a salon, you're back to back. When do we have time? We don't.
Exactly. So, there's no time to ever do that.
No. So this is amazing.
And of course, definitely, it's much easier. And I think it is similarly with things like, we're going to look next at rewards. And I think it's a similar thing there, like trying to do everything manually just takes up so much more time. Whereas if you can automate everything, it makes life so much easier in the long run. It just saves you so much time and effort. I know since I did mine, I've had a lot more bookings. People will automatically book online now, and they're a lot more comfortable with booking online as well. I think because if we encourage them to, we show them what it looks like, especially now when they can log in and they can look at their appointments as well. It just makes things a lot easier for definite. Yeah. Definitely. And of course, another way, as I said, to bring people back in is to reward them for their spend. If they're spending their money with you, it's always nice to have a loyalty or rewards program. I don't know if I like you, Lizzie, but I've got like a million different loyalty cards, M&S, Sainsbury's, like all sorts of different stuff.
A lot of coffee ones where I've had one coffee and then never gone back, but I keep the card just in case.
Just in case, in case. My sister did that recently. We went through her loyalty cards and she'd actually got 2 free coffees by combining some cards. So we managed to kind of get those all in order. And it's always the same. And I think this is why these days a lot of places now have gone online with their rewards. And so Timely have done the same. You know, I moved mine recently over from a paper-based card loyalty program, which obviously costs money ordering it, getting it printed, getting it designed, to this more automated online version, which is much easier to keep track of because it's all there in front of you. Like my clients forget to bring their loyalty cards with them, so we end up backdating the stamps and all sorts of stuff. Whereas at least this way, it's all there.
I don't have room for all the cards.
No, that's exactly. Yeah. I have to get a separate one now just for all the loyalty cards that I've got.
Really?
So with the rewards, is really, really easy to set up, and you can decide what your spend is going to be for this particular loyalty. Now you're going to head to setup and then rewards. You're going to toggle it to on, and then you're going to see this page, and on this page you've got preset formula that we've designed as an easy way of kind of doing that. And this is based on your individual spend. So every business, when you log in, it will look slightly different. You have different options of what you want that spend to be. So again, it will depend on what your clients are likely to spend. It will give you the average amount of visits that each client is spending. So you can see with this one, the average visit is £30. So after 3 visits, they'll have had £90 spend, and you can set a reward for that if you want to. We're going to choose the mid-range. So I don't know about anyone else, but my paper loyalty cards were always 6 treatments. So they got a discount off their 6th treatment, a discount off their 12th. And this is quite a nice midway of doing a 5th one. So that on their 6th one, then they can then use that discount. So it's very, very similar when you're transitioning over from a paper-based to a more point-based one. Once you've selected that, you can then select the size of your reward. And so you can, again, it depends on what you're likely to give away. I used to give 20 or 30%, depending on how many treatments they'd been in for or what they were spending. So you can select that based on this one here. we're selecting a nice generous reward here for our clients. And then it'll tell you a little bit of information here in the summary, so that when they spend £150, they'll get a £10 reward on their account that they can use, and it's roughly 7% that you're giving them a discount every 5 treatments. Or if you don't want to use the preset versions and you've got an idea of what you want to set on your own, you can create your own formula. So underneath these boxes, we have a create your own rewards formula link. And you can literally go down here and you can add your spend that you want to add in for your clients. So it might be that the pre-generated formula didn't have enough options for you. You want to give 175 spend, or it might be you want to be £200. It just depends on what fits your business and your clients. And then you can also select the reward amount as well. So we've adjusted it here that we don't want it to be quite so generous. So we're going to give them £10 off when they spend £300 in salon. So that's roughly 10 treatments if it's based on this £30 spend for the clients. Yeah. Once you select that, again, it will give you that kind of summary just to kind of double check that that is okay with what you're, it's what you're expecting. Now, the next section, the advanced settings, is for our Innovate customers. So this is a really amazing feature. I love this because this has been asked for so much. That you can, under the advanced settings, you can select whether you want it to include all your products and all your services, or neither, or a bit of both. So you can really tailor this reward system for your clients depending on what they're having. So if you don't do a lot of retail and you don't sell a lot of retail products at all, it might be that you don't want to include these, or it might be that you want to include them to incentivize your clients to buy those products from you to build up their rewards. And so it really depends on how your business is working, what it is that you want to target for your customers. Obviously, we know with Christmas coming up, it's more likely that they're going to be buying products for gifts, really. So you're more likely to get that coming through, which is going to be lovely. So in this section, you can choose all, none, or selected. If you want to limit certain products, so perhaps you've got certain products that you don't want to include, you're going to click selected and then manage products. And this will bring up another section for you where you can untick the ones that you don't want to include. So it might be you only want to include high value products. It might be you only want to include high value treatments. You might not want to include things like if someone's coming in for a nail repair that's a couple of £, you don't necessarily want to include that, or a cuticle oil that's £4. You don't want to include those little ones. You want to include the big stuff. You want people spending their money on big products. Once you've done that, you can then also select whether they have an expiry. So in the same way that a gift voucher would have an expiry date, you might not want them to roll that over, continuously. You want them to be using it. So you can set that expiry date if you want to. And you can also choose whether to show the customers their rewards on their receipt. So when you send them a receipt for their payment, it will actually show them on there how many rewards points they've got. Again, it depends on what your clients are incentivized by. So I know for my clients, they'd like to see that, because they can see how close they are to hitting that reward. It might encourage them just to add something onto their next appointment if they're maybe a little bit far away and they think, oh, if I just add on that eyebrow wax, I'm going to get my reward then, and I can book something nice just before Christmas, or I can buy myself a product or whatever it might be. So once you've done that, you then hit save, and your rewards are saved in there in your reward setting. Now you can change this if you want to at any point. So if you're starting to use it and you think, oh, it's not quite working for me, you can change that as much as you want to. And that is literally everything we've got for you today. So hopefully we've got some nice bits for you to get working on, get focusing on, giving you something to focus on while we're all kind of stuck at home. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, countdown. And then Christmas rush, which is going to be probably the biggest Christmas rush of any year.
Yeah, we thought Definitely. It was crazy before this lockdown.
Yeah, I know my hairdresser was saying, it felt like Christmas. They were working the longest hours, getting everyone in for those 3 days. to then come out of it now is going to be just the most manic December ever, because it's only really 3 weeks then, I think, that most people will be breaking up for Christmas, which is just terrifying.
Crazy.
To cram all that in. So definitely get started with all this now. Get it done now while you're off, while you've got the time to focus on it, and start really making use of all these amazing features that we've got for you to use. There is so many more. So many. Yeah, this is literally like the smallest part that you can do with these. But yeah, if ever you need any of us, I'm sure Lizzie will be back with us next week maybe, which will be exciting. And we're going to have some more hints and tips for you next week, looking at how you can reopen, so things you can use when you reopen and getting that all started. I know there's a lot of stuff that's forever changing, so it'll be nice to kind of just focus on getting reopened again in time for Christmas. That'll be lovely. And it'll be lovely to have you back again.
Thank you.
Exciting. Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for joining me today. It's been lovely, which has been amazing.
I wasn't too blinded during that, so that's
no, you've done really well. I've lost the sun now. It's actually raining where I am. Yeah, the weather's gone absolutely atrocious. Yeah, well, depending on whether it's moving up or down the country, will depend on whether you've had it first or whether we've had it first.
It will come to us, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. But thanks everybody for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you soon. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments. We've got the lovely Timely team that are in the comments that are able to answer your questions right now. You can catch me in the community hub as well. So if you've got any other questions, you want us to go through stuff in there, you can always pop questions in there. We're always there to help you. And you never know, you might see Lizzie in there as well. She might pop in.
Yeah, I'm Lizzie Timely. I'm copying Alex. So yeah, if you see me, say hi.
Definitely. And we'll catch you all next week. Bye everybody. Bye.